Check out the size of the swim bait. Ooh, look at my hand and look at the swim bait. Ooh, ooh, I got him. This thing is 9.5 inches long. It's huge. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be fishing with these giant swim baits to try to catch a PB. So these baits are by Cali Glide, but guess what? We're also giving one away. All you got to do to enter is drop a comment, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and then after watching the video, share it. But I'm going to give away this one, and we're going to be using this one today. This thing is huge. It's a 9-inch giant swim bait. PB Quest. Hopefully, I'll catch my PB today. Also, if you're interested in purchasing one of these, I'll drop the link in the description and you get a free t-shirt. But let's go try to catch a double-digit bass.
Got a body like a coke.
All right, guys, we're down here at the pond now. Check out the size of the swim bait. Look at my hand and look at the swim bait. This thing is 9.5 inches long. It's huge. So if I catch something with it, it's going to be a big bass. Hopefully it'll be a double-digit bass. I'll break my PB, personal best of all time. Looks like it's got stainless steel hooks on it. Might have to take this thing saltwater fishing next time. All right, guys, I'm throwing this with my PC Fun Phantom Reel, PC Fun Torrent rod 7.6 medium heavy. I really need a heavier rod. Oh yeah, that thing looks good in the water. Glides back and forth real good. All right, check out the action on this thing. It's suspending. I see a bass looking at it right now. The bass is about the same size as the swim bait. So the thing sinks pretty slow. It glides pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'll be even happier when I actually catch a fish with it. If I catch a fish with it. I mean, this swim bait is ginormous, but it looks like a big shiner, and that's what the bass in here eat, is big shiners. So maybe one will commit to it. It actually suspends. Check that out. So if you stop it, it just kind of suspends. That's good. The name of the game with the swim bait is just going to be covering ground until I find a bass that wants to commit to it. It might take us a while. You guys are probably only going to see one fish if I catch something. If you see one fish. Ooh, that was a swirl. I don't know if I scared her if something was coming for it. I seen a swirl. Oh, there's a bass looking at it, guys. Look at him. He's sitting there checking it out. Oh, the bass was smaller than the bait. That was crazy. He was interested though. Ooh, something just nipped it. Something hit it. We had a bite, guys. We had a bite. That's good. It was a small bass. Probably not big enough to take it, but that gives me confidence in this bait, seeing that a fish did nip at it, or he hit it. So that means that they're attracted to it, which is good. So maybe if I get it in front of a big bass, she'll come up and whack it. We're gonna spray this thing down with some shad spray here. Should be good. All right, let's catch that big bass. I see one under it. Small one. He's interested. There we go. That's where she's at right there. I seen something swirl around it. Something just come up and swirled at it. Probably they come up and swirl at it whenever it's sitting still. Probably a bass being territorial, a smaller bass. So every bite that I've had so far with this swim bait has been when it's sitting still. They haven't really been biting it. I had one that come up and he pecked at the side of it, but the bass haven't been big. Not big enough to eat it. So there's a bunch of different ways you can work this swim bait. You can, if you just steadily reel it, it has a nice glide action back and forth. You can jerk, pause. You can give it some fast jerks and then let it pause and then give it 2 slow jerks. Or you can just let it sit on top of water and just barely twitch it. And whenever you do that, it looks like a dying shiner. Looks like an easy meal. You work it really slow. I got to figure out how to work it. I don't know where they'll bite it though. It's the name of the game, figuring them out. It's always the name of the game with bass fishing. You got to figure out what they want. And a lot of times I like to do that by looking at the bait fish and seeing how the bait fish are acting. You know, what the bait fish look like, what color they are, if they're light colored, dark colored, and then use a bait that imitates that and work that bait the way the bait fish are moving. Ooh, one nailed it. Come get it again. I had a bite, I missed him. Man, I missed him. So guys, I had threw it out and it hit the water and I let it sit for a minute and I just barely twitched it and one come up and grabbed it. He didn't bite it very aggressively though. Come on, take it. Guys, I keep following it up to the bank. And whenever I let it sit, they'll come up and look at it or they'll swirl and they'll run off, but they're not committing to it. I think it's just because they're not big bass. Ooh, there went a big one. Scared it off. That bass that just took off out of it right there, guys, that thing was big. That was a big bass. He was definitely over 5 pounds. Ooh, one just come up and grabbed it while I wasn't paying attention. I was looking down at my feet and one come up and grabbed it. See if he'll come back for it. Come on, hit it again. Bite it one more time. So guys, whenever you throw out a big bait like this, unless you're just lobbing it in really short distance, it makes a really big splash. So a smaller bass is going to run away from that splash, but a bigger bass hears that big splash and he thinks something's feeding over there. He's going to come over and check it out. That's why I like to let it sit. After I throw it out, I like to let it sit there for a minute, because if you've ever seen a bass eat a shiner and he misses it, or a brim, any kind of live bait, when he misses it, that thing will sit there on top of the water and it'll move really slow and it'll kind of flutter. That's why I like to start off my retrieve like that. Throw it out, let it hit, let it sit for a while, give it some twitches. And it really depends on the different time of the year too. So in the middle of the summer, they'll be a lot more active. Right now, they're really sluggish. They're wanting to bite it really slow because it's the beginning of the summer. The water isn't that warm. Later in the summer, once the water warms up in like July, I'll be able to work this thing really fast and get bites. Something went for it. I seen a swirl over here going for it. He's going to check it out. I'm swirling at it. Looks like a turtle. Old turtle going somewhere. We're gonna go on down here to the end where I haven't fished at yet. I've pretty much covered the whole pond. It's fishable from the bank. Hopefully there'll be a bigger one hiding out in the spot that I ain't fished yet. What I'm doing right now is I threw it out and I let it sit, and I'm just twitching it really slow and keeping it on top of the water like a dying shiner or dying shad. So whenever I go to jerk it, I jerk my rod tip up, that keeps that bait on top of the water. If I jerk it down like that, it's gonna bring the bait under the water. And I'm trying to keep it on top of the water. This is a really shallow pond. It's only about 4 foot deep. So there's really no need for me to try to dig this thing down deep. Oh, you missed it. Oh, I got him. I got him.
Let's go.
I got him. All right, come on up here. Come on. He took it. He took it. Check him out, boys. I got one finally. Look how fat that thing is. It's probably about 3.5 pounds. I'm surprised. This 3.5 pounder took that 9.5 inch swim bait. The swim bait is a giant. I mean, the bass is a good sized bass. Don't get me wrong, but ow. Look at that. And look at the swim bait. Jeez. The swim bait is almost as long as the bass. All right, let's let it go, guys. So with this big swim bait, I really wasn't expecting any small bass. I mean, that was a quality bass, but I was expecting something over, 5 pounds. Let's see if we can get a bigger one. With that bass, he hit it once, so I was just working it really slow on top of the water, and he hit it once, and then he missed it, and he come back and he hit it again, and I got him. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye before it gets dark. If you want to see more big swim bait videos, make sure you comment that down below. We'll see you again next time.